Pramukhi. My namaskar to Sri Jayaprasad Acharya. He is a learned Pandit at the Sri Krishna Vrindavan Matha, and he is also my spiritual guide. I seek his blessing to speak a few words with you all. My name is Vivek Srivastava, and one of my responsibility here in Atlanta, I'm part of Seva International, and one of my responsibility is to do the social work in the local communities in the Atlanta region. And I'm very proud to be associated with the Hindu Yuva. Some of you have known beforehand, and very delightful to be here today. And it's very heartening to see that you are celebrating this Mahashivaratri today. So to understand what Mahashivaratri is, we must understand who is Lord Shiva. And Acharya mentioned that Lord Shiva is the Abhimani Devata, or the presiding deity of the mind. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So there are three things I will talk about to explain that concept. The first one is the notion of living and non-living, as in the Hinduism. In Hinduism, what we believe, it's a very simple framework. What we believe is nothing can act on its own. So there has to be some conscious effort for something to happen. If something gives us something, there has to be a conscious entity behind it. An inanimate object cannot do or give something to us. When we look at the sun, we see it gives us the light and it gives the energy to this planet. So we say there is a presiding deity inside of the sun, Abhimani Devata. Similarly, if we look at the moon gives us the Sheetalta. It gives us the dews in the night, otherwise the plants will not nurture and grow. So because they are giving something to us, we call them deities. Even our heart, it beats involuntarily. We don't regulate it. So somebody is regulating it. Who is that entity? That entity is another deity. There is a conscious entity who is regulating that. So that notion of the living and non-living is slightly different from what we know about in the science. So that we call them deities. So the second thing that I want to talk about now is we have many planes of concerns, and Acharya alluded to that one. So for example, you are students, you have to focus on your education, your duty, you follow a specific discipline, you work hard, you have to take exams, do the test, study to be successful. But there is another plane of concerns for all of you, which is physical well-being. For physical well-being, what is important is you exercise, you sleep well, you follow decent discipline in your life. So eat, sleep and exercise are the tools for that. But then there is another aspect, another plane of concern, which Acharya talked about, which is your spiritual well-being. That spiritual well-being is an important aspect of your successful life, because that is something is often ignored. It's not something that we focus on. But the spiritual maturity, or the spiritual intelligence it tells us what this world is that we live in. It gives us purpose. It gives the moral fabric to us that guides us and the wrong, to have that discrimination power between what is right and what is wrong. The spiritual intelligence shapes our character. It makes us a better person. Once we understand, when we are a little bit more firmly established in our spiritual intelligence. So that brings me to the third point that I want to talk to you about, which is what is the tool for spiritual progress. And it is the mana. Mana is also known as Antakarana, or it is also known as Atmana. And Atmana or Antakarana, there is no equivalent word in English for Manaha. Loosely we can equate it to Mana. But Manaha is actually the sixth sense of organ of sense. So in our body, for example, we have several input organs through which we perceive this world. which are eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and our skin. So through that, we perceive the external world. But there is also these external organs, they are connected with an internal sense of organ, which is the manaha, to which these perceptions that we receive from these external sense of organs, the impressions are carried forward in the manaha. And the manaha is connected on the other side with intellect. So that the intellect gives us the power of discrimination, but these impressions that we get are forming on the manaha. Manaha is where our thoughts originate, where we do the contemplation. It gives us the ability to be human. Human are endowed with intellect. We can imagine things, and we can think about, create different concepts in our mind. So that is what the power of manaha is. So but what is difficult about manaha is very chanchal, because it's based on the impressions that we get from the sense organs. So it's very fickle. It's very impersonable. So it gets swayed very easily. So similarly, this question was asked by Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. He asked, "Chanchalam hi manah Krishna pramathi balavad dridam tasyaham nigraha manne vayoriv suduskaram." So because this manah is so chanchal, so fickle, I find it very difficult to control it. It is as if how it is very difficult to control or contain the air. It is very difficult, the manah, to control that manah is similarly very difficult. So Lord tells him the way to control manah is abhyas and vairagya. That helps you. With practice you can achieve that. And when the manah is under the control of your intellect, then the personality is a good personality. You are strong you are firm in your belief system on the notion of right and wrong. You make good judgment. But when manah is not under the control of your intellect, it is swayed easily by the external senses that your sense organ moves amongst. Then you are not strong in your moral fabric. You are not strong in your decision. The power of discrimination you're not able to exercise. And there is a possibility of you moving into the wrong direction. So that's why manah is very important. Bhagavad Gita tells us that uddharet atmanam avasadayet atmanev hi atmano bandhu atme virupuratna, which means that the manah is a tool that has been given to us by the God, but it could be your friend if it is under the control of your intellect and you can force it and direct it. But if it is not, then it sways you in the wrong direction, because it's very strong. The impressions are very strong. The desires that our sense organs and the impressions that they create, they are strong. So there's a beautiful analogy for us to understand how the manah relates with the entities in our body and our sense organs. Atmanam, the Upanishads tells us, Atmanam ratinam viddhi, shairam ratamevatu, buddhim tu sarthim viddhi, mana pragraham indriyani hanyahu vishyan goshu techaran atmanin manoyuktam bhoktyahur manishinaha. So the Atmanam, this soul, is the Rathi in the chariot, is the person sitting in the chariot. The individual soul is the owner of this chariot. And through the intellect, you control the manah. Through the reins. Manah is like the reins, which are attached to the horses, which are your sense organs. When these sense organs are controlled through the reins, then it's a good chariot. It's going in the right direction. But when the reins are not, through the reins, it's not under the control of the intellect, then it may sway in any direction. It may go in any other direction. Therefore, the manah is an important aspect for us to have a good moral fabric, a good strong will, and for us to walk on the righteous path. And the reason we do this Mahashivaratri Puja is because Lord Shiva is the Abhimani Devata, or the presiding deity of Manaha. So he is the one, when we pray to him that please give us the ability so that our manaha is under the control of our intellect. That ability is given by Lord Shiva. And I want to tell you, somebody mentioned that today, on the Mahashivaratri day, Lord Shiva did a Tandav dance. But there are many stories. One of the stories I want to tell you quickly is Lord Shiva, many of you know that this Brahmand is in the navel of Lord Vishnu. And in the navel of Lord Vishnu, this Brahma Kamal that is formed, and that Brahma Kamal is what this whole universe is. And it's vast expanse. It takes billions of years of light, billions of years for the light to travel from one end to another end. In this vast expanse, Lord Narayana took an avatar as Trivikrama, and when he took the second step, he poked a hole in this Brahmand, and the causal water started flowing inside. That is the river Ganga. And with a sense of devotion that Lord Shiva has for Sri Hari, when the river Ganga started falling, descending towards the earth, he held it on his head. And that is the similar, through this story, what it teaches us, that we should live with a sense of gratitude, just like Lord Shiva is holding this tirtha, padodaka, or the tirtha, which is emanating from the feet of Lord Narayana. He puts it on his head. Similarly, our manaha, which is the tool that has been given to us by the God, we should concentrate it and focus it. We should direct it through our intellect, and we should always have this sense of gratitude for what the Lord has given to us. So with that, I will end this discussion, and wish you all the best. Acharya did a very nice puja for the success for you as a student, as you Vidyarjan you do here in the. So may you work hard. May Lord Shiva bless you with a strong intellect, driven manaha. He gives you that, so you can always be on the right path as you go through many things in your life, but it always may He give you the right intellect and the guidance to choose the right path always. Sri Krishna.